How's it going, guys? So it's the third week of November and I'm back with another comic book haul. It's just a few books, but I got a pretty large stack of trades that I picked up at a comic convention. So let me get right into it. First up, we have Black Hammer number 5. Then we have Horizon number 5. I'm not quite sure what's going on in the story. It's supposed to be a reverse invasion sort of thing. The art is always great, but I think if you want to check out some Juan Gideon's stuff, you'd probably be best off checking out Ghost Riders. But I might give it another shot. I'll see how this one goes, this issue. Then we have Jack Boot and Iron Heel number 4. I was wondering what happened to Jack Boot, but here it is, the final issue of Jack Boot. It's been a fun Nazi zombie monster supernatural story. It's not the best, but it's fun. Then we have Hadrian's Wall number 3. This has been a pretty interesting story. You know, the guy goes out to a colony to investigate a murder and so on and so forth, and it's pretty good. Then we have a couple number 1s. We have Revolution's G.I. Joe number 1 from IDW, and I picked this book up solely because of one name, and that would be Janis Milano-Janis, and he's doing the art for this. He's doing new character design, I think, for the G.I. Joe series, and he's been a staple in Prophet, if you've read Prophet by Brandon Graham. He did part of the arcs for Prophet, and he also has his own graphic novel, which is Old City Blues. It's pretty fun too. It's kind of a homage to Masamune Shiro's work, basically. And finally, we have a Yakuza Demon Killer, also a number 1 from IDW. And again, I picked it up for the art. It looked interesting, so we'll see what it's all about. And into the trades now. I drove down to Bakersfield. They had their Comic-Con this weekend, and it was nice. There was a lot of comic booths. Not as many trades, but you know, it was an experience, I guess. So first up, we have Madame Mirage. It says volume 1. I don't know if there's a volume 2. It's by Paul Dini, and Paul Dini is the guy that was writing Batman the Animated Series, I think. Anyway, the guy at the booth was telling me about it. I think the booth was a booth for Top Cow, because all they had was Top Cow books. But he goes, you might be interested in this one. It has art by Kenneth Rocafort, and his art is always interesting to me. So we'll see what Madame Mirage is about. And then we got 30 Days of Night, volume 3. And the booth had a lot of 30 Days of Night, and then I realized that that was because it was a Steve Niles booth, which is the writer for 30 Days of Night. And I don't know much about Steve Niles or what else he's done besides 30 Days of Night. There was something else there, I can't remember what, book it was, but I picked up volume 3 because the art is not Ben Templesmith. It's somebody else. And I kept thinking, who is this artist? And then I remembered Umbral. And Umbral was another Image series that came out during the time when Image was putting out Saga #1 and East of West and Deadly Class, all those titles that came out that were just starting. Umbral was also starting with art by Christopher Mitten, and I was like, yeah, I remember his stuff. I think I read like 3 or 4 issues of Umbral, but I decided to pick this trade up just because. I asked Steve if I only picked up volume 3, would I have needed to read 1 and 2? He's all, no. He goes, it's pretty self-contained, so. And he signed it somewhere. There was Steve Now signature there, so that was cool. Then here's some independent stuff. Ichabod Jones, Monster Hunter. I think this guy was selling his self-published written books. He has different artists, but he wrote most of these. He goes, this is a pretty trippy story you might want to check out. I go, okay. And the art looked interesting enough, so give that a shot. And the next and final 3, no, wow, this is a zine here by some other girl that was putting out her stuff. This is just a bunch of random little shorts. I figured it looked interesting enough to check it out. These next 3 are from the same writer. This is Suicide Forest. The writer was Dave Baker, and this has art by Nicole Goose something. Anyways, the 2 of them were there. He goes, the girl said, he writes most of the stories. I do some of the art, and I think she does all the art for this one, for Suicide Forest. Interesting about this one is once you get into it, this is all you see. This image all the way through the book. The story takes place in this room, I guess. So little by little it keeps changing. I thought that was pretty interesting, so I went ahead and picked it up. Her art looks pretty cool. And then these 2, the Fuck Off Squad, is also by Dave, Dave. But this has different artists. So this is a collection of short stories by Dave with different artists. I think the covers are all by Nicole, I would think. But she did some of the stories, or she did the art for some of the stories, and other artists contributed. And I thought that was pretty cool. There's some short essays, I'm thinking, by Dave as well. I don't know if I'll get into them. I'll probably just skim through them, but I figured the art looked nice, to help out some self-published artists. I thought it was pretty cool, so I picked these up. I think her art is very nice. There's some other cool stuff in it too. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That was a big Bakersfield Comic Haul, or trade haul, and the comics for the week as well. Thank you very much for watching.